peace.
Peace to the God.
How you?
Oh, man, you know everything is everything.
Yeah, man, me too, man. Same shit, man. It's good to see your face, God. It's been a little minute.
Hey, man, you know, nigga been out here, you know, just trying to get it, man.
Same way, me too, man.
Getting acclimated. You know what I mean? Getting fully acclimated.
That's right. You know, that's one thing about the gods is, man, we ain't got to be around each other all the time. We out here operating, you know what I mean?
Love is love. Love is love.
Brothers that got to be in the same cipher constantly, that means you ain't making no moves.
I see y'all got y'all's
you got to be able to disperse.
Our whole government up there.
You got to be able to disperse. You know, you got to be able to disperse and put in the work at different levels.
Hey, I'm reading what I got down here, sir. I'm reading what I got down on my little teleprompter and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, I ain't said nothing that these cats can't see.
Right.
Peace to the God, though.
Yeah, man, that's facts, man. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, man. I just hopping on real quick with everybody, and I just want to let everybody know, you know, this is going to be on iGod TV. We're just going to have a quick little discussion, you know what I mean, about a few things. You know what I mean? I wanted to bring a couple of my close brothers in, a couple intellectuals, so we can talk about a couple things, you know what I mean, and just come up with a quick, you know, conversation, man, to get to the people, man. So first off, I just want to say peace to everybody that pulled up, you know what I mean? A peace to the gods. We got the God J Smooth in the building, of course, the legendary. All right. We got the God Kano or Mr. Uwe from Great Lakes Radio here in the building. You know what I mean? We woke him up out of bed, you know what I mean? Trying to get some rest, but we ain't having that tonight. There's some shit going on.
Peace to the God.
The streets need it right now. So first and foremost, I want to say rest in peace to Young Dolph, man.
Yeah, that was crazy, right?
I want to say rest in peace to Young Dolph, man. And you know, I was just literally watching the other day, 2 days ago, literally on the Breakfast Club. Soldier Boy was on the Breakfast Club, and they were, him and Charlemagne was going back and forth with each other because he was supposedly going back and forth with Young Dolph on Instagram. Okay. Now, not saying this has anything to do with it, but Young Dolph posted the only rapper to do 100,000 unsigned and independent. And Soldier Boy put under the comments, he put you're not independent, you signed to Empire.
500
supposedly Young Dolph DM'd him back and was saying, when I see you, it's on. Soon as we catch you, it's all bad for you. Now, this is what Soldier Boy was saying live on the Breakfast Club 2 days ago.
Okay.
All right. And also, Soldier Boy had went online and supposedly they said he was trolling, but he supposedly put 100,000 on Dolph's head.
Oh, shit. Now, see that right there? And in this internet society, that might got your boy. That might got your boy into a little sticky situation.
You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Because he's trying to say it was a joke now. Shit. Soldier Boy's trying to say it was a joke, it wasn't real. But if we look back into the history of hip hop, you remember when Young Jeezy put money on Gucci's chain?
Yeah.
Somebody ended up getting killed out of that.
Hey.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying, man. I'm like, what do y'all think? First, I want to go with Mr. Uwe. What do you think about how these people, they look at these social medias, man, and they don't look at it as just entertainment. They look at it as, if I'm not living that same life, I'm nobody. You know, how do you feel about that, man?
It's a mirage to me, for the simple fact that they being their own individual. They letting the society or statistics show or make them live the way that they want them to live instead of living how they should be living or being true to themselves.
Exactly. Because you know what? In real life, a lot of these entertainers don't even actually have the kind of money that they appear to have on their social medias. A lot of these cars be paid for by the label. We looked at Snoop Doggy Dogg. He said he didn't even own a house or a car until he went to No Limit. Here's the #1 rapper in the world on the planet and didn't even own a house or a car.
That's wild. That's wild. Well, you know, he did have a lot of, he had a lot of rentals.
Everything was in Suge Knight's name. Everything was in Suge Knight's name.
Wow.
You know, so it's like a lot of these rappers, they don't even have the resources and the things that they say. Now, I'm not saying Young Dolph didn't. Now, Young Dolph was definitely independent and he had ownership in what he had. But my point is, with everyone feeling like this is who you have to be somebody anymore, you know what I mean? This facade, you know, and it's like, it seems like we all, whenever something like this happens, we all come together and say, we need to stop doing this, we need to stop doing that. And all these rappers come in and give their condolences, but then they go right back out to preaching the violence on their next album. You know, what do you think about that, Jay Smooth? What do you feel like about the rappers who send the condolences and talk all this get together stuff, but as soon as their album come out, they done killed 100 niggas, done killed 100 black people?
You know, I ain't gonna lie, man. To me, it's all WWF, man. You know, to the nth degree. Now, you know, you already know back in our day, you know what I mean? You had to say what you mean and mean what you say.
Right.
And be careful with your words. And if you want to put some shit in the game, you know, you gotta use word puzzles and things like that. But these cats is like overtly, you know, just on the madness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, Soulja Boy, to me, come on, man. Soulja Boy, I mean, you did your thing, but now you trying to stay relevant, and this is how you doing it. You know what I mean? This is how you doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you go back to some past interviews with this dude was out there with some real guys,
right,
and was getting mushed around on camera.
Right.
So, you know, how this dude, come on, man, this dude has no.
Yeah. So, yeah. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about
the street cred?
No, people, you work so hard to get out the hood and get into the industry to change your family's life. But a lot of these entertainers, when they get to that level, they go into the gang instead of getting out the gang. I feel like it's too late. It's like, why would you want to get rich then join the gang where broke people operate? You know, why would you want to operate on that level once you work so hard to make it to a level where people don't make it to, you know?
Looking for it, maybe they got some type of a false sense of security, or I don't know. A lot of them, I feel like it go back to family, like your family. If you ain't got a big family, and they feel like, okay, this the family that I didn't have. Not saying that it may be true, but a lot of times when some people was raised like in their hood, they raised into that shit, but a lot of some individuals, not a lot, some individuals, they feel as if it's their family now, like looking for some type of family support or something like that, you know?
Right.
So it's more or less like this the family I never had, but it's the wrong family to have sometimes. If they're on the same page, or they're not trying to live like, if they ain't trying. Basically, I feel like they're being extorted because they don't even know better.
Yeah, but we heard about that. We heard about that with Tupac and Biggie. Okay, now we heard about with Tupac had the Bloods as his security, and we seen Biggie had the Southside Crips as his security. When these rappers, when these record labels go out of town, they not necessarily. We thinking that they calling the nearest security agency. They not. They checking in with the neighborhood leaders, and they dropping bags on the street soldiers. I mean, let's just keep it real. They've been doing it in the rap music. I mean, you get a few brothers like Jay-Z and a few brothers that get the Nation of Islam, you know, the Fruit of Islam will be their security. Like Jay-Z don't go nowhere without the Fruit of Islam.
I mean,
go ahead, Smooth.
No, you, Mr. Wee.
All right, I feel like it's deep, man, because once you come from the hood and you ain't have nothing, and then you start to have something, I can't wait to go back to my hood and show these niggas, you know what I'm saying, the people in my hood what I didn't and what I got.
Yeah, but what's that do? But what's that do? What's that do to people? We look at Nipsey. Nipsey Hussle gave people jobs. He was killed in the plaza where he owned the whole plaza. Yeah, hiring felons, you know, and still paid for it from his community. You know, Young Dolph was another person who never went with security anywhere. You know, we used to think it was a thing back in the day when we would hear Redman say, I don't go nowhere with security. I go by myself in the airport and everywhere. We thought it was cool, but it's not the time now.
It ain't back in the day no more. These little niggas don't even. Hey, did you hear a lot of young numbers? I ain't got no OG. How you ain't got no OG? Like, where y'all from? So y'all just
you learn this shit, right?
Hey, that's a good one. That's a good question. That's a good one. I'm gonna ask both y'all this. I want both y'all to take a turn and answer this for me, okay? Think about this. The whole OG thing. Now, let's think about something, all right? If we look at, we say a lot about the young brothers, you know, they don't really ask the OGs for help or really come to the OGs. But in one aspect, a lot of these young boys, they sat back and watched a lot of these old niggas sell crack out their mom's house, sell their mom crack, turn their moms out, or just do whatever. And these little niggas was young, just sitting back watching this shit, growing up literally to have no respect for the niggas around them in their neighborhoods. Because a lot of these niggas grew up with their mom who wasn't getting respected at all by the neighborhood.
It's a whole totally different story, but
what do you think about that? What's your response to that?
Because I feel like sometimes.
Do you feel like that could be possible?
You're a product of your environment. Me wholeheartedly, I don't feel like that's always true, because you got a lot of individuals that's successful that came from the hood. Like maybe they might be sports players, some of them actors, but a lot of them is sport players, some of them is rappers, hip hop artists, whatever you want to call it, R&B singers. Right. And they didn't let their environment affect or make for them to make a bad decision to where they didn't want to be nothing or succeed in life.
Right.
It's all on that.
Yeah, because you look at LeBron James. Look at LeBron James. You know, exactly. his mom was out here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I guess it just depends on how you built, I guess. What do you think, Smooth?
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, me personally, man, just to go back to what you originally said, I mean, the OGs taught us. So, you know, it's just like, you know, when you get a story that's passed down, we learn how to be solid. You know what I mean? But I ain't gonna lie, man. And you know me, I'm over a half a hundo. So I'm gonna say this: the niggas from my era and the era right before mine,
yeah,
it's the fault of them niggas, man. Cause you know anybody that know me know, you know I'm gonna grab a young boy and give him nothing but them jewels and that positivity. But I'm just one nigga. You know what I mean? But at the same time, niggas wasn't doing that. Niggas was trying to stun on these young dudes and teaching them bad methods. I mean, and I'm gonna say this. I ain't gonna say bad methods. I'm gonna say they wasn't teaching them how to get it in the correct way. They were teaching them how to get it, but they weren't teaching them how to get it honorably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like we got further. I feel like as generations went on, we went further and further away from our sons, our nephews.
To the ignorant shit. Instead of telling niggas, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I know we sitting out here in this situation right now, but man, you young, you could be doing this, that, and the third. Motherfuckers wasn't giving the young boys options. They was trying to slay these young dudes, and which on the real, trying to make themselves look all, you know, look bigger than they was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fucked up a whole 2 generations.
Right.
You know what I mean? On some pompous ego shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who the super gangster? Who the you know what I'm saying? Who the OG, the triple OG. But the triple OG is, you know, like from our area, is like the motherfucker Mr. Ford and all them cats.
Yeah.
Them cats will check you. You know what I'm saying? They'd be sitting there watching you do your dumb shit, But they gonna sit back and be like, while you're doing that, think about this. You know what I'm saying? And then the positive always override the negative if you got a positive power source. You know what I'm saying? If everything, your foundation is positive.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. That's a good point because you know what? At a lot of times, even us growing up, it's like, look, if you ain't showing me nothing, if you ain't showing me success, I don't want to hear one thing about success from you. Don't tell me about success if I don't see you successful. Don't tell me about how I shouldn't be out here if you out here every morning.
Right. I feel like we shouldn't have that mind state because you can learn from above. Even if you say the reason why I say that is because what if one time in point they was successful and they telling you like, yo, I've been there, done that. We ain't listening to them because now, are you a bum? You ain't, you know what I'm saying? How we know you telling the truth?
Because our main thing growing up was poverty. So the first success story we was looking for as a kid was who getting money.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. That's my point. It's like the success stories that we have growing up, you know, they steer us in that direction because only thing we really looking for is some money, man. It ain't about, we ain't growing up in the hood like, yeah, well, if I'm trying to find my wifey, that all come later on, man. Our first thing we're trying to do is get some money for independence, really. Really, it's independence.
Hey, but you know what the real crazy shit is? As you speak on that, and to go back to my point about just being a little older, see, the niggas was always showing niggas the money and be like, yeah, nigga, you get out here, you do your thing, and you can have this. But motherfuckers wasn't instructing niggas how to get that and be safe. Exactly. And the pros and the cons of having that shit.
Right.
See, that's right. And then back to that ego shit. You know what I'm saying? We all grew up with some made niggas. But was niggas trying to either trickle the formula out, or was they saying, nigga, if you do what I'm doing, you can get like me? But it's a billion ways to skin a cat.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. But you know, but you don't learn that off the top in the hood. You don't learn that you have options. Because how many times have we ourselves felt like we had no options at all? You know, actually living on a planet this big, but feel like you confined to where you have no options, you know?
I mean, I agree totally. But see, you know, when motherfuckers don't got options, how they gonna give you an option?
Exactly. And that's probably why the young kids, that's probably why the young boys close their mind to us a little bit, is because it's like they didn't see the other success. You know, they still see the success as us in the streets. A lot of us who tried to make it out and go different ways necessarily didn't get there at a point in time, but we still got the wisdom of the experience. But niggas don't want to hear that shit because we can't show them the fruits of the spoils.
Hey, but then, hey, Mr. Uwe, you gotta agree with me on this. Half these niggas that get out and do something, right? They never come back and instruct the hood about the shit they didn't sing.
I think it's more than half. It's like majority for real.
And that's some bullshit.
What I don't understand is some individuals might make it and then look back and be like, well, I ain't gonna try and pull nobody up to where I'm at because they might pass me. That's on some sucker shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shit.
Right. And you know, Jay-Z made a good point. Jay-Z made a good, said something that made me laugh, man. Check this out. I don't know if y'all ever heard this, but you know how they talk about the crabs in the barrel, right? Everybody talk about the crabs in the barrel.
Right, right.
Jay-Z said this, and it really made me think. They asked him, why are black people like crabs in the barrel, always bringing each other down? And he was like, well, first of all, you got to ask yourself, what the fuck are crabs doing in a barrel? They live in the ocean. So obviously something has them confined to where they all trying to escape.
Yeah, that's a nice,
Think about that. Think about that. That is not the natural environment of a crab. So if it's crabs in the barrel dragging each other down, they're not in their natural environment. So if the black man is dragging each other down like crabs in a barrel, that means we are not in our natural environment.
in an unnatural environment. Now that's
Woo!
food
Peace to
for
the
thought.
gods.
That's food for thought. That's food for thought.
That's
That's food for thought.
What the
Hey,
fuck are
but
they
you know what?
Hey,
first?
crabs wouldn't do that. Crabs ain't walking around in the sand grabbing each other by the legs.
No, they're
That's
not.
fact. That's
So they
fact.
make us think. They make us think that's what crabs do. They make
But
us
how
think
they
that's
gonna
what
know that?
crabs do.
Each other out though too. Shit, they just don't know how know about going about it, how to go about it. Even though they never seen a fucking, they don't know what a bucket is.
And just
So-
like us, if they realize that they could unify, they might get out of it.
You get up here, and I'm gonna get up here and try and pull us all up. Who knows? But
Exactly. Yeah, we all got clamps. We all got clamp hands, so we could literally see. But that's the thing about the Black community too. You got to think about it. We do have the power to get the fuck out of it. We just don't see it in this little ass bucket.
Yeah, I mean, and that goes back to what you were just saying about the young boys. And I was talking about the generational shit.
Generational gap. Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you like this. When we had in my mind and in my lifespan, we had the motherfucking power. As soon as cats like PE, when you got PE, you got Schoolie D, and I'm talking about music right now.
Yeah.
You got all these different cats expressing themselves all differently, but everybody in the same kind of, you got the dance niggas, you got the gangster niggas, you got the cool G rap, and you got cats who want to be gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Not want to be gangsters, or because back in the day, if you wasn't that dude, you better not be talking about that shit.
That's right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, at some point, a bunch of people got in the game. It wasn't even about if you was living it or not. It's just about if you can sound like it.
And then they had security, as they call them now, just sit back, you know what I'm saying, which is some sucker shit. Cause that's why what your boy Redman said, I go wherever I want to, because I'm just a dude that rap. And people like me. You know what I mean? I ain't got no beef. You know what I mean? If I do got beef, I know how to handle the beef, because I'm gonna have the dudes that, you know what I'm saying, I usually run with for the beef that, ain't cooked up yet.
Right.
But,
and his neighborhood was just as rough.
How you want to cook it up? That's some corny shit.
Right. That's right. His neighborhood was just as rough in New Jersey. We saw New Jersey Drive. We saw that. He survived it, obviously a blessing too. But, at the same time, he was obviously knew how to move,
I mean, and not only that, and go back to what you were saying, Mr. Uwe, when you start off, your foundation is, all right, it's like a number line. Your foundation is at 0. You know what I'm saying? And all your days, you seeing the negative side of the spectrum, because 0 go from negative to positive. So you start off 10, 20 steps negative. You trying to get back to the balance just so you can see the light. You know what I mean? But if the dudes that's over you and showing you and guiding you ain't trying to guide you to the light, they trying to make you real proficient in the dark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they try to give you your night vision. That's it. They just give you some night vision.
Right, they give you night vision. You got all that. You got all that shit for the streets. Forever though.
That's peace. Right. Nah, it can't be forever.
You know what I'm saying? No.
Yeah.
It's like okay. It's like okay. I know how to hunt, but that's all I do is just go out and hunt. I don't know how to cook my shit.
Butcher.
I don't know how to skin my shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? You gotta know everything. Shit. If you're a hustler and you know how to get money, you just know how to get money. Money is the base key. I don't care how you get. You can be an educator. You can be a hustler. But as long as you're smart enough to sit back and not let these powers that be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Catch you up in the gig. Hey, the main shit is it ain't illegal if you don't get caught.
Facts.
I mean,
facts.
And that's some of their shit.
Right. That leads me to another point, man. Another incident happened a couple weeks ago. Another legend, so to speak, Alberto was murdered 20 to 30 years later, after all the incidents and after everything had happened, you know, and he also, he was, you know, shot up in his car and everything. Now they said that when they found him, it took a long time to figure out it was Alpo because he had the witness protection ID on it.
Right.
That he lived in Maine, right? So
Right.
he was in witness protection like Sammy the Bull, right? But still going back and forth from Maine into Harlem because we saw him on Instagram taking pictures with certain people, causing a little stir. You know, he went on the DVD and took dude to where he killed Rich Porter at, you know, and he was moving around with Dame Dash a little bit and doing some things, you know, all whole time under witness protection, the whole time.
Who?
Alpo.
Alpo.
Oh, okay. I missed it. My son had said something to me. My bad.
So my question is to both of y'all, because we also know about the Tekashi 6ix9ine of like how he's still going viral, publicly snitched. Now we know he runs around with the most expensive security. Alpo wasn't running around with any security. So some people say he kind of felt like whatever happens, happens. You know, I did what I did. You know, Tekashi 6ix9ine is taking it in another level of it, you know, saying like he did what he did because that's really gangster. You know, real gangsters is what he did or whatever. So I just want to say, I want to ask both of y'all, how do you feel about not the people who actually told, about how do you feel about the people in the community who necessarily don't embrace the people, but they just put a blind eye to it and let the people still operate within the neighborhoods where they actually did the, you know, injustice?
I'm gonna let you take that one, Mr. Uwe, first. I deliberate.
Yeah, because
how you form that question. Good, great question.
Excuse me. How do I feel about that?
We don't want to bring harm on anybody.
Yes. I feel like if you're not in the streets and you're telling stuff and you know what I'm saying, you reporting or whatever you doing, that you're living as a citizen of society.
So you believe in civilians?
Yeah, I mean, if they living that life, what do you expect from them? They ain't gonna pick no gun up and try and blow down on the nigga and, you know what I'm saying, get back. They definitely run into the police. Now, if you call yourself being in the streets and you run into the police to handle your business or what you had going on, yeah, that's sucker shit. That's straight pussy. I don't agree with that at all. If we doing this in the street, we leaving this in the street, my nigga. We ain't no police getting involved. I might not even run and tell my brother off the rip. You know what I mean? If something pop off. Damn, why you ain't
so let me ask you this, Mr. Uwe. Let me ask you this, Mr. Uwe. Was Tekashi 6ix9ine a civilian? Because we know he put the money on Chief Keef's head, had Chief Keef shot at. He was in Chief Keef's neighborhood, okay? No. He was talking about going to California, doing a bunch of shit to some other rappers, talking about he'll never check in, he goes where he wants. Was Tekashi 6ix9ine a civilian though? I feel what you said about the civilians because grandmothers, children, people like that, yeah, I feel that. But Tekashi 6ix9ine, I don't know if you a civilian, bro.
Me, personally, when he came out as an artist, he never portrayed himself as a fucking civilian. If you talking about we got big guns and all my niggas shooters and all this shit,
exactly.
What happened to all this? If you put money on niggas' hands and shit, no, it's not. I don't
real life.
So if someone like that if someone like that becomes an informant,
he's a snitch.
Should the community allow them to move freely?
No. Hell no. Hey.
Smooth, let's go to you, Smooth. How do you feel about the whole thing? Let's talk about both sides of it. Alpo, who was really, really street. Alpo, because look, I can't say I've experienced it personally, but I'm sure in some of these gang neighborhoods and some of these neighborhoods, there's some killers who done told. and walking around and ain't nobody did nothing to them because they will kill your ass probably if you confront them or whatever. I'm just saying what the circumstance may be. But
I don't know.
Alpo was necessarily in the street, so we know what he did. We know he was a killer, you know, and the things he did. We know Tekashi never did any of it, but somehow both of them were able to become informants and move freely amongst the people afterwards. What's that say about the community? I'm just saying.
Hey, I would say this, you know what I'm saying? I wholeheartedly agree with Mr. Uwe. You know what I'm saying? That if you portray that life, if you acting like you this, that, and the third, and actually not even acting like that, you vocalizing that for other people to feel that you are that. You know what I'm saying? You embodying these things. Then you should walk the walk. You know what I mean? Like we all got some friends and family that may be heavy in the streets. But guess what?
With it, don't motherfucker just don't try.
If you hanging out with these cats and some shit happen,
I just like I'm going to the boys now. Don't do that. You should never even jumped in.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So what's that say? So what's that say about So what's that say about someone like Bobby Shmurda? He took half the time. He split his time with his whole crew. He put his career in jeopardy.
He 10 toes.
Why ain't he going viral? Why isn't Bobby Shmurda going viral? Why isn't Bobby Shmurda on every show getting interviewed?
That nigga was doing.
Why don't we see Tekashi? That's what I'm saying. You see my point? You see my point? You see my point? Why do we?
Hey, that weird ass dance. That nigga came out doing a weird dance.
Yeah, I feel it. But that's my point. You see my point? Why would we see nothing but Alpo and Tekashi 6ix9ine all over YouTube?
Well,
and we get nothing from Bobby Shmurda, somebody who actually held the code, so to speak, down, like we claim these young boys don't. Here's somebody who did.
Killing the code. They killing the code, God. They killing the code. See, like that. Go back to what we originally was talking about why these young dudes is like they are. You know what I mean? The code was never ingrained in it like it was in us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just flat out point blank. And as media, as we got to expose ourselves more through the words and the videos and all that good shit, motherfuckers got to create a whole new visual culture. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where, you know, you got cats $110. Okay, I said case in point. My man Prodigy. I read his book, right?
Yeah.
He a little dude.
Uh-huh.
You know, he like half of them niggas. He one of them cats.
Right.
But